Top 5 underrated violin concertos. If we haven't met, hi, I'm Meghan. I'm a violinist and teacher. I've been playing the violin for over 20 years. I have my bachelor's and master's degrees in violin performance, and I'm Suzuki trained. If you're enjoying my videos, please make sure you're subscribed to my channel. It's easy, it's free, it really helps me out, and I really appreciate it. And if you want to see all that I have to offer, check the description below. In this video, I'll be sharing the top 5 underrated violin concertos in my opinion. These are pieces that I think are perhaps overshadowed by other concertos or other works of the composer, not played enough, not talked about enough, or just overlooked. First on my list, I have Prokofiev No. 2. Now, obviously, Prokofiev is a pretty famous composer. It's likely that you've heard of him before, but I think his first violin concerto is way more popular than his second. Don't get me wrong, I love Prokofiev 1. I was actually able to see Hilary Hahn play it in concert, and if you didn't know, that's like her signature concerto, so safe to say it was amazing and flawless as usual. And I like the piece, I just think that obviously it's very virtuosic, and I prefer No. 2 because it's more melodic. I love the opening melody, it's so like creepy but like hauntingly beautiful. But by far my favorite movement is No. 2. I think it has a gorgeous melody and I absolutely love the string pizzicato. If you haven't heard it, highly recommend giving it a listen. No. 2 on my list is the Stravinsky Violin Concerto. Did you know that Stravinsky wrote a violin concerto? Comment down below. So Stravinsky is most known for his orchestral works like The Firebird and The Rite of Spring. And when I was in high school, one of my really close friends was a bassoonist, and The Rite of Spring starts with a very exposed bassoon solo, so he was, always talking about it and working on it, and that inspired me to listen to some of Stravinsky's other works, and I stumbled across the violin concerto and absolutely loved it. It is so fiery, passionate, and exciting, and there's tons of great headbanging moments, if you know what I mean. What I think Stravinsky does really well in this concerto is combine like more classical styles as well as his own tonal language. So I personally think it's very accessible to the listener. It doesn't sound too out there. It's also extremely difficult for the violin, so maybe that's why it's not played that much. No. 3 on my list is the Khachaturian Violin Concerto. I played this in college, and honestly, I had never heard of it before. This concerto is based around like folk music and folk melodies, and Khachaturian loves chromaticism and diminished chords. So if you listen to it, or especially if you play it, your ear is going to improve so much. So often we get stuck in the typical like 1-4-5 or 1-5-1, but this piece really deviates from that, but in a really beautiful way. 4th on my list is the Konis Violin Concerto. Now, I'd be willing to bet that you have never heard of Konis before or even this piece. And to be honest, before I played it, I hadn't either. This was actually the first concerto that I played when I got to college. And you can think of it almost like a baby Sibelius. So it starts out in a similar way as like a very quiet, beautiful lyrical melody, but then ramps up into the exciting bits that make it what it is. It's definitely a lot more accessible, aka easier than Sibelius, while still like preparing you for those larger works. So if you're like a advanced-ish player but not quite ready for Sibelius, check out the Konis. And the fifth and final one on my list is the Glazinoff Violin Concerto. So this concerto is similar to the Stravinsky in that it has some very accessible and beautiful melodies, but Glazinoff puts his own spin on the harmonies, making it really interesting. This is another work that's incredibly difficult, and perhaps that's a part of the reason why it's not played so much, but definitely worth giving it a listen. So those are my top 5 underrated violin concertos. What do you think? Had you heard these pieces before? Do you like them? Do you not like them? What are some of your most underrated violin concertos? Thank you so much for watching, and please make sure you're subscribed before you go.